He's here already. Got lost.
Oh, that makes service.
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Right, mate, yeah.
Have you been here long?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
Are we on? We're
Yeah.
on. Okay. Welcome to our sunburnt foreheads, apparently. We've just been informed. This is Matt from Bimoto, and he's going to answer some of your questions that I put up the other week on the BVG channel about insurance and why they're all such, I dare to say it, wankers.
I think
I mean, we all are really. I mean, kind of some of us twice a day. Insurance is one of those things that motorcyclists have to have. They don't necessarily want to have. They don't see it as a value-added thing to have. So we've got some questions here that we're going to run through on the comments section. So this one is from Jono Moto. Why are cosmetic modifications so expensive on a premium?
Well, they shouldn't be. I mean,
Okay.
it's one of those things where I don't know what you mean by cosmetic, but if you're changing a tail tidy or a screen or whatever it might be, I mean, the reality is these things make no difference to the value of the bike, how fast it goes, or how you ride it. So they really shouldn't. And talk to a human being, phone us up, chat to us, tell us what you've done. We've got different ways of dealing with heavily modified bikes or custom bikes, or even just a fairly vanilla bike that's got a few minor changes. To be honest, it really shouldn't make any difference.
Okay. So I guess the answer is when this Ducati roars off.
Sounds good though.
Honestly, someone would think it's a bike shop round here, which is, where are we at? On your bike.
On your bike in Aylesbury.
Aylesbury. So I guess the answer is that a lot of default insurers or brokers, when they tap in, they don't have the answer there that someone who understands motorcycles has written. Like, they don't know necessarily what an R&G tail tidy is. They just go, oh, what are you doing with your bike?
Yeah.
You've made it look really attractive.
It's this one on a list.
It's this one on a list.
And small mods shouldn't make any difference. In fact, in many cases, big mods shouldn't make any difference.
Yeah, unless it's like a supercharger or something.
Yeah, superchargers are always a bit of a challenge, I'll be honest with you. But the vast majority of mods, if you've got a great bike that's done up and you've put some real time, effort and love into it and turn it into a jizz machine, then, and you want to protect it, then if I was an insurer, I want to make sure that that person is more likely to care and love for that bike than someone who's painted it with a paintbrush and
Which is actually why I think there was another question on Twitter last night about club membership and stuff. And do you get discounts? What's the mentality behind that?
Yeah, I mean, club discounts just shows again that you're an enthusiast and that you're not just an A to B biker, but you enjoy it, it's your passion, and it's a different kind of mindset maybe. But also some clubs have arranged discounts with insurers, so if you're a member of a particular club, some insurers might give you discounts for it.
Yeah.
We kind of go a bit further than that because we've got discounts for just the type of biker that you are. So whether you've got an ACU license or you do track days or you've had a dirt bike session with BMW down in Wales or something. Yeah. So we take it that step further. Yeah. But even just a small club discount.
Yeah, off camera we were just chatting, and you were actually talking about saying that you think it's a good idea to introduce discounts for people who actually do track days.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Rather than saying,
that's what we do.
not like well, you're a hooligan. Like, actually, if you do lots of track days, generally the people can control their vehicles a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, my personal view is if you do it on the track, you're less likely to do it on the road. And also, actually, learning on the track, you learn what your bike can do, how good your tyres are, how to get around a corner properly instead of finding yourself on the other side of the road coming at a car.
Yeah. So if you can
everyone
wheelie,
should do one.
If you can wheelie, do you get a discount?
I mean, that's not in my official discount list.
Okay.
Again, do it on a track.
Okay.
But no, in all seriousness, I think everyone should do a track day, and we should recognise that kind of experience. Likewise, dirt biking or any of those kind of skills. If you can handle a bike on gravel and dirt and rocks, you can probably handle it on a bit of diesel and some white lines in the wet.
Yeah. Good.
That's the way I look at it.
I like the mentality. This is from Clutch First Blogs. Why are insurance companies so quick to write off a motorcycle even when they are fixable?
Yeah,
I know it's a big, deep subject.
It is a big subject. Yeah, I mean, one of our pet things is that we don't want bikes written off. If you lose a bike to being written off, then it gives a check to someone at a time when they want to get out of biking because they probably hurt themselves or they're scared themselves. Yeah. And your missus is saying no more. So why give them a check and give them the easy option to go and fit a new kitchen or go on holiday? Yeah. We want to keep people biking, and most blokes or women who've had an accident on a bike, actually, they love their bike and they want it repaired. Yeah. Actually, you don't,
to the same standard it was before.
Yeah, you don't just want a check and have to go for the hassle of finding a bike that you love again and getting it back to the mods that you've done and all those things. there's a couple of things we do that are a bit different. Yes, okay, you can go to your local dealers and you can go to your mate's shop and all that sort of stuff if it's a small repair. But actually, if you've got something where the parts are adding up to being more than the value of the bike, you're better off coming to a specialist repair centre where there's X-ray machines to check the frames and spray shops and all those sorts of things, where they can actually repair rather than just replace things.
Yeah.
The other thing we do is we do put mods back.
Okay.
So we're one of the few that actually, if you have an Akrapovic can on, you get an Akrapovic can back, as long as you tell us
I've got
about
one
it.
scratched on my HP4. Can I have one of them?
For free.
Yeah.
No, but
Oh.
if it's on your bike and you're
Yeah.
job with us and you've told us about it, then and you have an accident, you won't just get a stock exhaust back. You'll get a proper exhaust back. You get the right one.
Right. Okay.
And that we're taking into consideration.
So the basic principle is, why are they so quick to write off? Because stock OEM parts from dealers
Bloody expensive.
are very, very expensive.
Yeah,
And I can, for example, my HP4, which I'm riding today, which we'll go out in a minute, that was a write-off. It cost me £2,000 to fix it. BMW quoted 22,000. But I can live with a scratch in the swing arm. I can live with a dent in the tank.
I think that when you've got a bike that's massively damaged and you've got to buy a massive list of parts, they can soon add up. A bike in parts is worth way more than a bike you buy in the shop. And so
You could probably, I heard someone say the other day actually, you could buy, I think you can go and buy like a S1000 off the shelf, what are they, stock one, I don't know, 13.5 grand, something like that. Strip it down, sell all the parts on eBay, and I think you make sell it all for 20 grand.
there's probably some truth in that, yeah.
Might do it.
And when you're only buying one or two parts, you don't really notice it. But if you're having to buy a lot of parts, it can soon add up.
Okay, this is from Dirk. Why do insurance companies charge me £600 for third-party fire and theft and want £1,000 excess for a bike that's worth £1,000?
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't really happen, to be honest. I mean, if you came to us,
Bit naughty, is it?
I don't know the circumstances exactly, but if you've chosen to put a big voluntary excess on, then that's your business, I suppose. If you're getting a compulsory excess of that sort of value for a bike that's worth the same, then it's not really worth the paper it's written on for that part of the insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, you might have third-party liability and road liability, but from my point of view, you may as well have third-party only insurance in that scenario.
Yeah. So if a broker's doing that, ring up a different broker, basically.
That's my view, yeah. And also that broker should have lots of different insurers, all with different schemes and stuff. So, different prices with different excesses, and you find the right insurer for that customer.
Yeah.
But £1,000 excess for a £1,000 bike is pointless.
I changed my Kawasaki Z1000 for a BMW GSA R1200 a year ago, and because I was 3 months into my policy with the Kawasaki under insurance, have charged me for the last 9 months for both bikes. Is this the way it's done?
I mean, again, I depending on where you go, some brokers have different cancellation policies. I can't really speak for all of theirs, but some of them you can not get a lot of money back when you cancel.
I had one that they it automatically renewed. I didn't want it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was a little bit late in replying, but just life gets in the way. Insurance isn't something that's like, oh my god, I saw insurance every day, and I refused to pay it, and they tried to take me to court. And in the end, I was just like, F you, paid it like a wuss, and I'll never ever deal with them again.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's won from that really, because you won't go back to them and it gives you a bad.
I think you might have worked for them actually at one point. It's probably you.
I'll decline to go into any detail.
Okay.
What I would say though is when you go with a broker and look at read about what you're buying. If you're thinking of cancelling halfway through the year, don't buy a policy that's got really hard cancellation terms.
Yeah, true. Basically, how can insurance companies get away with just making it up as they go along? Quote, honest prices.
I mean, that's quite a vague question.
Sorry, that was a two-part question. That's from Charlie R. First part is, why bother sending an excessive renewal cost, then only to reduce it by hundreds of quid after telling them you're not renewing?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It seems a bit pointless. I mean,
it happens to me. It's like, here, renewal price is this, £1,000, which is a lot, whatever. And they go, oh, that's a bit much. They go, okay, how about 800?
I mean, I guess cynically, they're hoping that most people will just pay the £1,000.
Auto renew, lazy, busy people.
Yeah. Go with a broker you can trust, and listen to biker feedback. They'll generally tell you their bad experiences and their good experiences. Again, with us, we want you to stay with us for a long time, so we don't see the point in doing that. It defeats the object.
This is from App Support, Wiimoto Vlog. At what number do points on a license affect premium costs? equal one. For example, 1 point equals what percent increase? It's probably a little bit ambiguous.
Unfortunately, there is no simple answer to that. I mean, every insurer has a different way of creating their prices up. So we ask, whatever it might be, 40, 50 questions in a journey. Every one of those has got a rating factor based on the experience that insurer has got of those kinds of people.
Yeah.
And so it really does depend per insurer. So
I suppose if you've got 2 SP30s for 6 points as opposed to dangerous driving for 6 points, it's going to affect it.
Yeah, some insurers will have different risk appetites. It depends on the bike you're riding, where you live, on your other experience. If you've been riding for years with no claims, but you've got a couple of SP30s, it shouldn't make any difference at all.
Right. Okay.
So
there is actually a sound mental process behind that. It just sometimes, to punters like myself, it does come across as a bit like, oh, that's a bit annoying.
Yeah, but it's as I said to you before, if you just plug some answers into a computer and the computer comes out with an answer, that answer is always going to be a bit cautious because it can't distinguish between the reasons for some of those things. Whereas
I hate computers. I just tried to buy some drinks in the machine over there. Yeah, I ordered I tapped in the wrong number because the thing fell off, and I got a Fanta. And I want Fanta. I want a cherry Coke.
To be fair, that is user error.
Bad road surface causing an off. Can we claim off the council?
I think there is some
There's a
scenarios
pothole
where
thing, isn't there? I've heard a pothole thing.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Without doubt, if you've got a bad road service, then there potentially is some kind of liability there. But that's what you need a good legal support for the back of your policy. So, without sounding like a sales pitch, we give legal expenses away, £100,000 worth of legal expenses with every single policy we sell on the road.
So that's the thing that at the end of the conversation, when you just want to leave because you've finally
they're trying to
insured
sell
your
you
bike,
for
you go,
30
just
quid.
go away. I'm illegal, am I? I'll just leave me alone. And they go,
Exactly.
do you want legal policy? Would you like leather's policy? And it's like,
That's the
just
stuff.
yeah. Okay.
Well, rather than
So
sell
it's useful.
that, we chuck a lot of that stuff into our policies. 'Cause
Right.
It makes like you say, it makes that phone call easier and quicker.
Yeah.
But actually, we do it. Our prices are pretty much the same as you buy elsewhere, but with that stuff included.
Okay,
So
well,
our
that's
legal
easy.
expenses is always in there. But in that scenario, if there's a liability claim, if it's not your fault and actually there's a massive pothole or something, then that's what a good legal firm should be able to find out. It's what's the scenario, what happened, is there someone at fault, is there a council at fault, is there a road agency at fault?
Why can't there? This is from Steve. Why can't there be more transparency with how premiums are calculated?
Because it's pretty complicated. There's lots of different questions all going into the mix, and then a broker like us is using all of those questions and feeding them out to lots of insurers and getting lots of answers back.
Yeah.
And then it's for us to try and sift through that and say, right, okay, the best one for that customer is the cheapest price there with a good sensible excess, and it's got the cover that they want, maybe riding other bikes, or it's got NCD protection or whatever it might be.
So the broker sits above the underwriter, and you as a
broker,
broker, the point of contact for a customer, and then you, as a intelligent broker, I suppose, you go, okay, he's this type of risk, that insurer likes that underwriter likes that underwriter likes that, and then you.
It's a general rule. We're looking for the cheapest price for the customer for the cover that they need and they want.
Why don't underwriters?
Well, because every underwriter is different. So if the problem you've got is, I think bikers like brands they trust know about bikes. So to some extent, you go to a broker because a broker is going to make an investment in building all the processes, systems, the brand in that market. Whereas an insurer would be a really small part of what they do.
Right. So an insurer is just basically a big pot of money, isn't it?
It's kind of to some extent, yeah. I mean, with a lot of clever stuff that goes into it.
But an underwriter is basically someone that has the money to.
But it's quite a small market to some extent. To spend a lot of money developing your processes, building infrastructure, building the brand. When actually you can have a broker that specialises there, that knows what they're talking about, and works with the underwriter, and you work together to say, right, okay, we've got customers that look like this, and we've found these sorts of problems. Can we change our scheme to look like this?
Yeah. Okay.
And so you work with them to develop something together. But when you've got 6 or 7 or 8 or 30 different prices all coming back, then it's actually our job to find the right one that fits your needs and the right price.
Why does a 30-second phone call to change a minor detail incur a £30 admin fee? Then we've done that. Basically, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
This is quite a good one. This is about no claims. Why, when you have 2 bikes or more, can't you use all of your no claims bonus on both policies?
The way it generally works in the market is your policy earns no claims discount.
Yeah.
When I say policy, that on that bike. So if you've got 2 policies running side by side for 2 bikes, they'll both earn the no claims discount, and then you can use them on each bike. If you've got multi-bikes on one policy, then you're only earning 1 no claims discount. So if you then separate it later on, one of the bikes has now got 0 no claims. That's kind of how it works. So it stays with the bike. So you can only use your no claims discount once. The way it works with us is we've got special schemes with some insurers where we can either give introductory discounts in that scenario, or we can do what's called no claims mirroring, where we can say, well, actually for you, we will give you that no claims discount twice. Or in some other cases, we've got special deals with insurers where actually we can do you a second bike cheaper than you would have got it elsewhere, even with no claims discount.
Right.
So, you know, we're like you can only ride one bike at a time.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you've got, let's say you've got your big 1,000 over here with 9 years no claims discount,
Yeah.
and that gets your premium right down, but you've also got over here a 600 Bandit. Well, actually, we can probably do that 600 Bandit in some cases for as low as 60, 70 quid.
Right, okay.
So actually, the no claims discount doesn't even matter in that scenario.
Right.
But by setting it up as a separate policy, now start earning its own no claims discount.
Yeah, okay.
So sometimes having a multi-bike doesn't always work in your favour.
Yes, yeah. Because I've had that experience in the past where I've got no claims over here, there, and it's like 1 year here, 1 year there, and then, oh, you can't use that, you can't use that. You can't use your car no claims, but then claims on a car. It's very, very. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I think I'm absolutely roasting hot here,
makes
burning
sense.
massively in the sun. So I think we should go ride some bikes and cool down.
Let's do it.
Okay. Lunchy. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah. What a day. What a day. Way he's off. Well, we just thought we'd pull up next to this Lambo. Yeah, Matt's on the MT10. I was at the press launch of that. Good bike. What do you think of it, actually?
I like it, yep. New saddle and a couple of little bits of cosmetic stuff. And
It's not that kind on
I
your
like
body, is it?
No, I found it a bit uncomfortable on the seat a little while. But yeah, I like it.
Rapid though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Makes
great.
a lovely noise. So yeah, in summary, basically, I'm sure we had so many questions. We might work it out and have like put something on your website or on our website or something like that, so you can answer
all the Twitter Q&A
yeah,
stuff.
answer everything basically, and I'll post a link to that in the video description,
Yeah, sounds good.
etc. Yeah, and in the meantime, I think we're trying to do a code with you, a 44 Rewards code.
Yep.
So that'll be on our 44 Rewards page, and it's basically an excess contribution.
Yep.
So if you book through us and you make a claim and you've got an excess of 500 quid and you bin it down the road, you basically, if you go through us, you won't have to pay that 500 quid.
So the way it works is you get a product which we normally sell for 30 quid, covers you up to 500 quid of your excess.
Yeah.
And once your claim's settled, then you get your 500 quid back effectively.
Cool.
If your excess is more than 500 quid, then you pay the difference.
Okay. Simple.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, so that's just something that hopefully
A little bit of an extra.
a little bit extra. We all like a little bit extra. And now we're going to hop in the Lambo and go.
Yeah. Swap it for the MT10. Done.
Yeah. It's good to see you, mate.
Likewise. Thank you very
Take
much
care,
for your
have a good
time.
ride home.
Yeah, cheers.